you want to understand Brexit and what happened last night, Britain's relationship with the EU, the whole thing, stop. Don't think about that stuff. It's not really about that. This is a global phenomenon. This is a revolt against technocracy and elites telling everybody else what to do. At the end of the day, for the past 20 years, 80% of the people have been told 80% of the time by the top 20% what to do, what to think, and what's good for them. Guess what? They've figured it out. The 20% needs to listen, because if they don't, they're going to find something out. The Hamptons is not a defensible position.
What's up, people? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am back. All right. So. We got some good news up in here. I finally actually got a motherfucking vehicle again. I got to get the registrations and shit changed over. So it's, yeah, that's. Good news up in this motherfucking. Good motherfucking news. It needs some repairs. I bought it. I don't have to deal with a car note, but I do need to do some repairs. Like, one, I need to actually just like get some rust and shit figured out, fixed up, and all that other good shit, repainted shit like that. But I have gotten a vehicle back, and shit. Hey, what's up? Flip? Oh my god. Okay. So I am doing this stream because I know I need to do more streams, and I'm sorry. Like, not having a vehicle, like, really actually motherfucking hurts. It, especially in a town where there's no walkable cities, where, like, I've been getting by on the kindness of my family and biking shit. So this Saturday I got me a vehicle. I am so glad about that shit. And I got a new camera. If you can actually tell, I actually have a new camera where it's actually got a ring light on it, and I think that it's kind of like it's not up to snuff like I wanted to, but yeah. So I'm gonna actually do something, and this is one of those things where I want to actually say this, and this is going to be fucking hilarious to me. If you are one of my supporters or detractors and you want to see a video that I can respond to, please send it out. My description in my Discord is in the description on the Twitch channel and in the YouTube channel. And ironically enough, I've actually watched this video before. I turned to it and I actually see videos that I've done, and I don't know if it's some other shit that I've like not just responded on stream, but I've watched this video before. And quite frankly, I am the wrong person to send certain shit to, because I'm gonna just tear the fucking apart. But hey, Crash Bandicoot, this is one of those things where, like, thank you for sending me this video so I can rip it to motherfucking shreds. Also, I'm still gonna respond to that Charlie video, even though I saw it and it's not gonna be a NECA response. I'm gonna still respond to that Charlie video because boy, that was fucking awesome. So anyway, we about to get down to this video, and let's start doing it. So, one of those things that you should never, ever do is fucking challenge me, because I fucking love challenges. And you know what? Cool, great. Let's see what this video about. Why the truth about democratic socialism. Okay. let's just start off like this. What is democratic socialism versus the socialism that you saw or continue to quote unquote see over the course of history, time, and all this other good shit? Well, it's like having a democracy. It is so many different types of democracy in the style of a republic. Because, all right, let's go. My brain is gonna hurt, and this is gonna give me all the headaches, Let's go. Hold on, let me speed it up just a little bit. Let's go. So, oh God, motherfucker brought it up. You have lies, damn lies, and statistics. What is the other phrase that Stalin used to use? One death is a tragedy, the other is like numbers. So yeah, the human mind can't conceptually think of millions of people actually dying like you would think your family members died. It's just too far, it's too much. And I remember doing a video where we were actually covering that Dark Matter 2525 video where he was explaining to the AI that, sometimes it's hard for us to picture somebody else's pain on the other side of the globe. And so we put it out of our mind because it's just so much of an abstract concept for most people to think about other people's pain without seeing it. But this is kind of where we're at right there, and I'm glad he admits it. Let's go. Marxism isn't an 80th. No, that's not what Marxism is. Now, I haven't read much theory, but that's not what Marxism is. Marxism has no problem with the existence of a deity. It's just about an economic system. Okay. All right, let's go. But that's a problem. You should never watch somebody and take it unquestioningly. That's what indoctrination is. That if you don't have a problem with the people you see. Okay, let's continue. No, stop that. If you don't have a problem with, or if you can't see yourself arguing unquestioningly, or you just like have an unquestioningly devotion to a person, idea, you're still kind of doing it wrong. That's just a thing. But I guess let's go. Let me see. Thank you for letting me catch that. Thank you. Thank you guys for informing me of that. Thank you. There you go.
My news and commentary. I also considered myself a capitalist, as did most other people on the left at the time. For example, here's an Amazing Atheist video from 2013.
And I'm not anti-capitalist. Hell, later on in this video, I'm going to try to sell you my book. I'm not against capitalism. I'm not against rewarding people who work harder or smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah, have you seen TJ now? I'm just saying, have you seen TJ now? He didn't go full like storm the Bastille. Let's get Dr. Guillotine working on that thing. Shit. Like yeah, TJ is he's still contrary, but let's just say he's completely masked off. And hey, shit, let's go.
That's fine with me. But should the system really be this unequal? Should there really be this level of disparity?
Yeah, he's masked
Capitalism
off now.
wasn't inherently bad. In fact, it worked pretty well as long as there are robust regulations in place, a generous welfare state to help those who had fallen on hard times, and perhaps the government provision of some
Wait, why is he talking over him instead of letting TJ explain what he's talking about? All right, let's go.
essential things like health insurance. The left believed this, and the right believed in a freer, more scaled down version of essentially the same thing. I thought that
No. The Friedman School of laissez-faire capitalism, no regulations. That's not true. That's not true. We literally have them saying that there should be as little regulations as possible. That's not scaled down. That's no at all. All right, let's go.
we all knew that the 20th century had proven that socialism was bankrupt ideology, and that mixed economies were the secret to economic prosperity. When Republicans would fearmonger about Barack Obama, they'd call him a socialist. The left would respond that he wasn't, and there were no qualifications or caveats afterwards about how it would be a good thing if he was, though. For all of the hyperbolic rhetoric that there
Wait, I understand that there's histrionics. I really get that there's histrionics, but it's like Obama bailed out banks. He made deals with banks even before. Like, socialism is when government do shit. That's not what socialism is. It is talking about owning the means of production in a specific way. All right. Oh my God. Okay. Let's go.
was. The actual confines of the policy debate were relegated to a pretty narrow spectrum. Over time, the left started to become more and more progressive. This was especially obvious during the Occupy Wall Street movement, and even more so during Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential campaign. By this time, my own politics had changed significantly to something much closer to what they are now, so I was very much apart from all of this. Had I not changed, I still probably would have been welcome on the left as late as 2016. Today, that would no longer be the case. I'd be decried as a dirty neoliberal, which would make me just about as bad as a fascist. I don't know.
Okay, so are there people on the left that fucking purity test and shit like that? Oh fuck yes. And are there people who actually believe that going full Marxist, even though they don't really realize what that term is? Are they fucking cringe? Oh, fucking yes. Yes. Fuck. They are cringe as shit. Oh my God. People's like, socialism means no house. What the fuck? Socialism means no money. No, that's not what that means. I don't get it. Like, how? Socialism means no money. That's never gonna happen, dog. There is a reason why money fucking exists. The reason why money fucking exists because I can't go and change my I need some sort of way of changing my work hours that I put with my customer service jobs into food. I can't say, look, here's my customer service work hours, give me food. That's not how that works. Oh my God. Fuck. All right, let's go.
Know at what point the left became viciously anti-capitalist and pro-socialist to the point where some of them even started to apologize for the brutal socialist dictators of the 20th century. But I remember the moment.
No. Tankies have always been around. Yes, tankies have always fucking been around. No. Stop. Those are motherfucking authoritarian fucking leftists. That's it. In authoritarian and leftists are a contradiction, I know. They're red fascists. That's all. Because anybody who defends motherfucking Stalin, who defends what Mao did, to say, oh, they just needed to because bad the USA. No. What? No. You do not defend people that murder other people just because they're on your team. You're fucking playing the tribalism. You call all that shit wrong. It's like the dumb fucks who like, oh yeah, Ukraine is American plant or something. Like, no, check this out. This is my reason why I support giving mostly funds, mostly what are funds, or actually not even funds, mostly just weapons to Ukraine. Because if fucking Mexico decided to get fucking jumpy and they wanted to invade, first of all, like we took their country, part of their country. But if a country actually invaded me because they just like, yeah, give me my land back, I'm sure I would want somebody to motherfucking help. And if it was like Canada was like, yeah, I just want this other place to be weak. Yeah, cool. Give me gun. Give me weapons. That like, you can't just say that. Oh no, you should just give up and give into what they want. No. Well, and I know I'm on a tangent, but it's like, why don't you just shut up and just let them finish whooping your ass? I know it's gonna hurt, but the longer you fight back, they're gonna keep whooping your ass. That's the shit that, like, people that are tankies and US Diabloism is saying right now. And yeah, no. Fuck no. Let's get back to the video.
Moment I personally realized it. I was watching a Secular Talk video in August of 2017. Kyle played a clip of Sean Hannity arguing that then President Donald Trump could get unemployment down to 0. You don't actually want 0% unemployment, by the way, but that's neither here nor there.
Why? Please tell me why. Explain why you don't want 0% unemployment. Explain. I can tell you why. Because to give the workers too much power. And then it still wouldn't really be 0 the way we count it, because you don't count people that have given up looking for jobs, or people that are underemployed, or students. You really can't. You really will never get that number down to 0, unless you just like reinstitute slavery. But let's go.
Whatever reason, I decided to scroll down into the comment section, and I saw this question from an account called Pride Tunes, aka Afro Lion. They asked, will Trump eliminate unemployment like Joseph Stalin did? This question
Wow. Okay.
currently has 291 likes. I have no recollection of how many it had at the time, but given that it was one of the first comments I saw, it was probably up there. At first, I didn't know if this dude was joking, as in, was he facetiously asking, is Donald Trump going to kill millions of people to get that unemployment rate down? So I decided to look at the reply.
That's not... Oh, okay. What? Okay, yes, let's see what that reply was.
And sure enough, he and others were defending Stalin. When people brought up body counts, he demanded a source and would dismiss any evidence they brought forward. This guy is what we call a selective skeptic. He will scrutinize your sources down to the gnat's ass, all the while expecting you to take his at face value.
So wait a minute. Stop. You're taking some rando on the YouTube opinion about some shit to completely reform your whole idea of what your political views should actually be. I've accused Destiny of being changing his politics because of spite, and I thought that was unique, but yeah, I guess a lot of people do it because I don't know. What changes my politics is, what guides my politics is, I want to see less human beings suffering. And it caused me some disagreements with people that I follow, that I watch, different YouTubers that I may have respected, even people in my personal life. But I don't... not only would people have to be forbidden from quitting their jobs, but you would have to do some crazy accounting in order to do that. But let's go.
Selective skeptics are some of the most annoying people to argue with, online or in real life, but I digress. At the time, I was genuinely shocked to see a tanky in the comment section with such approval, but there it was. I was probably late to the game, but after this, I started to notice more and more people online identifying as socialists, and about how more dramatic measures needed to be taken to solve societal ills. There are now more independent leftist content creators than there ever have been, and they're becoming increasingly popular. Janky.
Oh, okay, so your point, is it that they're more online or they're just more vocal? All right, let's go.
Uger and Sam Cedar are now the moderates of the online left, or sellouts, depending on who you ask. People like Vosh, Richard Wolff, Hassan Piker, and other self-identified socialists are becoming increasingly influential. Now, it's one thing for some anonymous dude in the comment section to praise Joseph Stalin, but what do these more intellectual types have to say about the 20th century?
Wait, what? Oh, okay. I get that there are some people. Your point is that the left is not a monolith. There are literally, I'm sorry, there are people in that spectrum that you just mentioned that are not tankies. The fact that you're taking this and putting it over your broad stroke of saying, oh yeah, people that's on the online left are tankies, when we specifically have certain people fighting with tankies. Okay, let's go.
Century socialism. Well, there's not one answer to that. In fairness, most of them keep their distance. They usually don't engage in outright denialism, at least not that I've seen, though they do seem to try and have things both ways. They love to attribute the supposed successes of these regimes to their ideology, like when Richard Wolff gloats about the economic growth of Stalinist Russia and 1990s China.
In the 20th century, the fastest growing metric, the fastest growing GDP in any country measured was the Soviet Union. And in the 21st century we're living in, the fastest growing GDP in the world has been the People's Republic of China.
But
okay, so those points are actually true. And what Richard Wolff also says, because I have videos of him on my channel, they were agrarian societies. And he also acknowledges that making that change cost a lot of lives. He's not somebody that he's not somebody who denies it. And we have videos on my channel of him actually speaking about it. Now, do I think that he's a little light on China? Of course. And again, is there some element of American Diabloism? Yeah, of course. And do we have to have better messaging on that? Yeah, of course.
They don't want to own the downsides. You see, when it comes to the crimes against humanity, these guys swear up and down that it is not an outgrowth of the socialism of these regimes. You see, these regimes were authoritarian, and authoritarianism is not socialism. Socialism...
That is actually true. Being authoritarian is not socialism. That just goes without saying. I'm sorry, that just goes without saying. And I'm trying not to do a whataboutism on both sides, but if you're in a system that people want to control with power, some people are going to abuse that power.
Is democratic by definition.
In the original sense of the word, democratic socialism is redundant. It's like saying wet water. But of course, because of the aftermath of the Russian Revolution and the rise of that kind of communism with a capital C that was very authoritarian, now you have to say, democratic socialism to differentiate it from that.
As Nathan J. Robinson writes in his book.
Yeah, and I don't get why people fall on their swords this way. It wasn't socialism. The Soviet Union didn't have socialism. It had state capitalism. That's just it. And Richard Wolff would actually call it that as well. It was socialism in name only. It's like one of those things where we're going to announce this is what this thing is, but it's not. Like, you know how we say things are real, like meritocracy, where most of the people that have most of the riches are either nepo babies or fame are nepo babies. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, those are things. Like, oh, I just made it on my own, even though my dad had a small, emerald mine, and my mother was a model and high class nutritionist that used to come and give me money every 2 weeks. Yeah, things like that.
Book, Why You Should Be a Socialist.
At the core of economic democracy is the notion that control should not be vested in a small group of people, but in the people who do the labor. Managers and owners shouldn't decide what the workers have to do. The workers should decide what managers have to do, or if they need managers at all. And they should own the workplaces themselves. Here we can...
So, that, just by that alone, you can realize that certain socialist countries aren't socialists. They are literally party controlled, and that party head usually controlled it with a fucking iron fist. You literally have a one-party system in most of these countries. So how is this? How is this democracy? Again, I think that the left they try to define themselves by what the right said that they are. So no, we're not that. It's like, no, these keep it 100. Keep it 100. Like, Stalin was a bastard. He was a monster. He was just our monster for a little bit, but then he was like, "Oh, fuck you guys." It's okay to say that. It is okay to have fucking nuance. But this shit right here, and when you don't give these motherfucking nuance, you just have to say they all good or they all bad, then you're kind of like playing into this whole socialism bad. It wasn't fucking socialism. It was one guy that ran the motherfucking country like he was fucking Tsar or king or emperor. That's just how they did the shit. But here we go. Let's finish this.
See why the authoritarian so-called socialist regimes of the 20th century did not deserve to be called socialist at all. In the Soviet Union, workers had very limited control over their workplaces. They were told what to do by party functionaries. Socialism does not mean control by the government. It means control by the people. And if the government is not responsive to the will of the people, it's socialistic in the same way that Kim Jong-un's Democratic People's Republic of Korea is democratic. This is also why, while I and many others use the term democratic socialism to draw a distinction between our ideas and the hideous so-called socialism implemented under Joseph Stalin, ultimately the term should be redundant. Socialism is a term for economic democracy, so an undemocratic system doesn't deserve to claim the name.
The online left...
So, again, using this quote-unquote talking point, like, social democracy is redundant. No, the fuck is not. Dude, like, stop. Stop trying to fucking play word games to fucking outsmart people. It is not. It is not. It is not. Just say, hey, we're going to do socialism, but instead of the shit that you've seen before, people are actually going to be elected and they're going to give up power. You know, like nobody really wants to. That's the difference. Stop falling for this stupid ass marketing. Oh, democratic socialism is redundant. All right, man. All right, let's go.
Doesn't want the world to embrace dictatorships like Stalinist Russia, or Castro's Cuba, or even Chavez's Venezuela. No, if anything, they want to scale back authoritarianism by eliminating tyrannies in the workplace by introducing democracy into that space. They want more freedom and less tyranny. Now, how they go about implementing these changes, they're never really clear about. And here's where they start to run into problems. You see, most capitalists I know, myself included, are not inherently opposed to worker-run cooperatives.
And if you want to start your own co-op, where the workers own the means of production, and they build the materials, and you're willing to...
Wait, I responded to this debate. So, the question becomes, hey, Great. So let's start a co-op. And with starting a co-op, let's go get funding. What do you mean? Y'all want to have other people make more fucking decisions? You want money from a bank? Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. And what would you call a domestic democratic socialist system that gives you the option to vote in the capitalist? See, this is where we run into the problem of, and I address this. This is where we run into the problem for your intolerance of my intolerance is a bad thing. And just quite frankly, and just because I'm not going to allow you to do whatever you want, no, you cannot have a system where it's only going to be one owner. It's going to be a small group of owners. That's just not how it's going to work. That's the difference between capitalism and socialism. Multiple owners, multiple voices, or just one. That's not how it's going to work. That's just that simple. But let's go.
Compete with me who start a company in a call it traditional way, then fine. I'm happily compete with have that competition. I know exactly how it will turn out. I come from I know how the kibbutz team have turned out, which were voluntary co-ops like that.
So my question with Yaron, with all this other good shit, right? He's a disciple of Ayn Rand, who mostly depended on the state, who depended on welfare, and depended on her fucking cult. And yes, she ran a fucking cult where she was like, oh no, I'm the leader of this cult. Give me the person I want to sleep with. Like, I don't get that shit. It's just like, and it's not even what about it, the shit that she dealt with. She didn't even believe in the shit that she said, except for her divine right of, I'm sorry, her because businessman, some kind of special ingenuity, or the divine right of kings. But let's go.
They were economic disasters from day one. I know how all the communes and co-ops in history have worked out.
They may be misguided, but if people want to make one, they have the right to do so in a free society. Whether they know it or not, whether they appreciate it or not, the socialists cannot.
So wait, is this the argument of you should have one person telling a whole bunch of people what to do versus a group of people saying like, yeah, let's vote on this? Is this all this video is? Is this the central argument? Which system runs best? Is that what this central? Because that's what it comes down to. When you boil it down, the brass tacks of it all, and it extends from this. Which is a better system? One person telling everybody else what to do, or a group of people coming to a consensus? Now, I know if you believe that you're going to be that one person in charge, telling everybody what to do, then yeah, it's going to look good that way. But if you don't think you're going to be that person, then it looks bad. I don't know what else to tell you. That's what it really boils down to. How do you want to structure your government? Have one fucking king? Or have a group of people that has to come to a consensus that works for everybody, not just that one person? It is literally it is boiling down to the tragedy of the commons. But let's go.
Not to reciprocate. Left to themselves, they will not allow capitalist enterprises to exist, because they view them as inherently exploitative. As Robert Nozick put it, socialists must forbid capitalist acts between consenting adults. This is why these socialist dictatorships necessarily turn towards violence. They could not allow people to be free because people would necessarily associate in ways they don't approve of. Lance from the Serfs says he doesn't want to use violence to advance his agenda of democratizing capitalist workplaces.
In terms of what percentage should be, I'm advocating for every single job to be worker controlled.
Against the will of the people. Let's say there's a part of the economy that tells you we want to stay capitalist.
Oh my god. And then here's the thing, and I'm gonna actually say this. and this is where I have a problem with a lot of people that claim to want the revolution. It's going to take more than your fucking lifetime. And to do it under threat of violence, you're literally doing the fucking thing. Until we can actually address and move the human race to a cooperative type of situation where it's like, yeah, let's not always try to do PvP. Let's try to do PvE. Maybe we can go in that direction. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but it takes a mindset. It takes people not believing that they have to look to one person for the fucking answers. It takes a mindset of people that just don't think, well, I'm just going to stay quiet and just do what I'm told. These people who want 100% worker co-ops never address that problem. That's it's never addressed. They're like, oh no, yeah, as soon as we have the means of protection, then people's gonna magically change. That's not how that works.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Okay, so you believe in limited democracy in the sense that there is a law that must never be broken. A business must never have multiple owners. Must have multiple owners. Other than that, the business owners would enjoy free enterprise without sanctions, even if it leads to inequality. All right, so here, I get what you're asking, and those are should there be certain things that are decommodified? Yes, I believe that there are certain things that are decommodified. And do I think that here, let's make it a personal example. If I actually had somebody that, helped, that was a part of my stream, that actually helped my stream, I would not mind sharing certain things with them. Profit sharing, ownership sharing is something where I wouldn't mind doing myself if I got together with somebody. Say if we had a motherfucking gorilla situation where the guy who was made Tank Girl and fucking the guy who sung for Blur got together and they fucking made a band. This is like the way they came together and made it. If I had a situation where I had characters that I designed and I had somebody that was to do shit with them, then I wouldn't mind sharing that in as far as a cooperative. Can every business be like that? Actually, yeah, it can. Should we have laws that help protect intellectual property to the way that we do? Not to the extent that we do? Fuck yes, because fuck Disney owning Mickey Mouse that way. So there are certain things that it's the only stopping of trying to figure it out is the level of our imagination. However, there are some serious things that gets in the way of that change. Again, a lot of these people who say, we want the revolution, 100% worker co-ops, they have to recognize that it will never happen all in their lifetime. Because there are people who just believe certain shit. And no, I'm not gonna, like, if we were to make the world a socialist paradise, I don't want to be the one that builds camps. Like, no, you can't do that. And there are gonna be people that's gonna want to, like, I just want to give up my voice and vote in my vote in order to not have to worry about that decision. And like, trust me, I am one of those people that's just like, you fucking idiot. Learn how to be self-sufficient. Learn how to make decisions and choices on your own. I shouldn't have to handhold you through fucking choices, and you shouldn't give them to me. And so that's my bias. I hate people like that. It makes me upset to have people that are specifically hanging on every word for instructions what to do. I understand that I'm like that, and I understand as long as we have people like that, it outside of selfishness, because you can make an argument for selfishness for socialism. Again, going back to the tragedy of the commons, you can have that. But the biggest hurdle is the people that don't want to be bothered with that whole decision making. That's the biggest hurdle. Not greed, not stupidity. It's I don't want to be bothered with those decision makings. And nobody wants to really address that, because a lot of people who do this shit are like, even the motherfucking internet lefties that, yeah, I'm going to follow what my favorite streamer actually says. They have some of that in the audience. But let's go.
Our workers are perfectly fine with this. You would object to discontinuing it to exist?
I'm not forcing it upon anyone, though. I'm not saying that this has to come down from the government on high, or that there has to be some kind of Stalinistic regime that forces people to do things against their will. I'm saying that this is what I'm advocating for. Whether or not people choose to do this is something that I hope that I can spread by telling this message to more people.
He reminds me of what one famous socialist said in 1921. There are two methods: the method of coercion, the military method, and the method of persuasion, the trade union method. The mistake Trotsky makes is that he underrates the difference between the army and the working class. He tries to transfer military methods from the army into the working class. The Soviet power can only be directed through the medium of the working class and with the forces of the working class. Obviously, it is impossible to do this by coercive methods. Obviously, only proletarian democracy, only methods of persuasion can make it possible to unite the working class, to stimulate its independent activity. That quotation was from Joseph Stalin. These socialist regimes...
The person that everybody said, don't let this motherfucker get power, literally was advocating for, yeah, like, you can do it. You can do what I say voluntarily or involuntary motherfucking manslaughter motherfucker on your ass. Like, you're using somebody who thought force was the main thing to use as an example of using force. Damn it. Something hammer, something, everything looks like nails. I was just like, I don't know what else to say. All right, let's go.
That the online left decries as bastardizations of Marxist theory, initially sold themselves as projects in the grand expansion of democracy. For example, the Soviets in the Soviet Union were democratically elected workers' councils based around some unit of economic production, like a factory. Hence, a Soviet republic was supposed to be a semi-direct grassroots democracy, for which these local workers' councils were to be the backbone. It's not...
And a strongman took over and started using his motherfucking... and said, no, don't worry about this. We're just exercising special powers. Like the fuck. Oh God. Like, no, don't worry. Don't look at the monstrous shit I'm doing over here. You look like, yeah. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Like, what the fuck? All right, let's go. All right.
Just that these regimes advertise themselves as democratic initially. Many influential Western leftist intellectuals talked about them this way as well. Pilgrimages to these new workers' paradises were frequent among influential leftists back in the day, and more often than not, they came back with glowing praise. It's only in retrospect, after these regimes have exposed themselves as economic and political basket cases.
George Orwell. Contemporary. George Orwell. There were a number of people complaining about this shit. This fucking Spanish Civil War. The histrionics. Alright, let's go.
That leftists say they weren't real experiments in socialism. As Christian Niemetz writes in Socialism, the failed idea that never dies, the apologetics for, then later retrospective denunciation of these regimes follows a specific cycle.
This book will show that as long as...
Like, dude, we have Animal Farm talking about the shit at the time. Okay. Alright, let's go.
A socialist experiment is in its prime, its socialist credentials are rarely in doubt. As long as socialism seems to work, it is always real socialism. It is only when it fails and when it becomes an embarrassment for the socialist cause that it is retroactively recategorized as unreal. This book will show that virtually all socialist experiments in history, including and in fact especially the Soviet Union and Maoist China, were, at some point or other, widely endorsed by prominent Western intellectuals. They were all held up as real socialism until they ceased to be real socialism and retroactively became unreal socialism. More precisely, this book will show that in terms of their reception in Western countries, socialist experiments usually go through three distinct phases. 1.
But no. Like, I can say right now, China is not a fucking socialist or communist. It's not. Oh, no problem, man. No problem. Thanks for stopping by, Flip. I hope you're doing exceedingly well. But again, we have Animal Farm talking about how just talking about how the fucking Soviet Union they took over in order to be better than what they from the farmers, and they ended up being the same way. We have contemporary right now. China is not a communist party. It is a state-run party. They still have money. They still have motherfucking they still have inequality. You can call that shit out now. Yes, you can point to motherfucking technically you can point to Hassan and say like he thinks China is based because America bad. Like the fuck? Yes. But notice the key word that he puts in here is prominent. It's not unanimous. And this is the problem with that. But let's go to his let's go to this.
The honeymoon period. The first stage is a honeymoon period, during which the experiment has, or at least seems to have, some initial success in some areas.
Okay.
During this period, its international standing is relatively high. Even anti-socialists concede, grudgingly, that the country in question has something to show for it.
Yeah, because when something starts, you look and you have hope that it's better. Okay?
During the honeymoon period, very few dispute the experiment's socialist character. Almost nobody claims that the country is not really socialist. On the contrary, during the honeymoon period, large numbers of Western intellectuals enthusiastically embrace the experiment. Self-declared socialists claim ownership of it and parade it as an example of their ideas in action.
So, by your own definition, you say a consensus, but not everybody. And what happens is that not everybody gets louder over time. Even in the honeymoon phase, there are dissenters in that idea. But let's go.
2. The excuses and what about a period. But the honeymoon period never lasts forever. The country's luck either comes to an end, or its already existing failures become more widely known in the West. As a result, its international standing deteriorates. It ceases to be an example that socialists hold against their opponents, and becomes an example that their opponents hold against them. During this period, Western intellectuals still support the experiment, but their tone becomes angry and defensive. The focus changes from the experiment's supposed achievements to the supposed ulterior motives of its critics.
I'm sorry, like, how does this dispute any type of, when you first hear about anything, like, you're not making a point that this is unique to socialist country. You're making a point that, hey, when something seems new and shiny, it seems good. But as things go on, small problems seem to occur, or large systemic problems starting to show, and people turn on it. That's the nature of learning more about things. Okay, let's go.
A frantic search for excuses, with the blame usually placed on imaginary saboteurs and unspecified attempts to undermine it. There is plenty of whataboutery. 3.
So, yeah, no, like, if there's a problem that's happening with a country, yes, sometimes it's outside influence. That's not an excuse, but sometimes there are internal things. And we have to be cognizant of both of those things, outside and external and internal influence that may be causing a country to fuck up. That's just having nuance and being an adult. Like, what part of that is? You're not making an argument that this just happens to socialist countries as well. This is a timeline of a lot of different countries. And again, what does this have anything to do of the truth about democratic socialism? Well, let's continue.
The not real socialism stage. Eventually, there always comes a point when the experiment has been widely discredited and is seen as a failure by most of the general public. The experiment becomes a liability for the socialist cause and an embarrassment for Western socialists. This is the stage when intellectuals begin to dispute the experiment's socialist credentials, and crucially, they do so with retroactive effect. They argue that the country was never socialist in the first place, and that its leaders never even tried to implement socialism. This is the deeper meaning behind the old adage that real socialism has never been tried. Socialism gets retroactively redefined as unreal whenever it fails. So it has never been tried in the same way in which, in Orwell's 1984, the government of Oceania has always been at war with East Asia.
Wait. No. If someone is being dishonest enough to say, well, it was never really tried, no, that's a problem, because yes, it was tried. We had failed experiments of socialism or proto-socialism with France, different areas. Hell, Christianity has proto-socialism, or actually proto-communism, if you read the book of Acts. That doesn't mean that, yeah, it was like that good for about a month, then the motherfuckers with real intentions on gaining power started to take out. No, that's not a thing. And if you're gonna be this person where you just, oh no, I'm just gonna claim it never ever tried, it tried and failed, or it tried and it was squashed, or it's tried and somebody took the name and like started wearing like a fucking fur coat, or a fucking wolf in sheep's coat, sheep's coating. Yes, say that, but just don't ever say like, no, it tried and it just didn't do it. Like, no, there was a former government where people came and took over. All right, let's go.
Modern socialists say they want to expand democracy. That's exactly what socialists back in the day said as well. This is exactly what they tried to do, and we see the results they got. Niemitz shows how contemporaneous leftist intellectuals initially praised Stalinist Russia, Maoist China, Pol Pot's Cambodia, Hugo Chavez's Venezuela.
But there were people that were complaining that were on leftists. Like, prominent or not, there were still people that was like having an issue with it. Alright, let's go.
Venezuela, and a number of other disreputable regimes as great experiments in democratization, only to denounce them later as not being truly socialist. Here are some of my favorite quotations from contemporaneous leftist intellectuals that Niemitz cites praising Stalinist Russia. Joseph Freeman, a writer, magazine editor, and member of the USA Communist Party, said that in Russia, everyone acted as though the general good was his personal good, as though his personal difficulties could be solved by conquering the common difficulties. In America, the worker has no real voice in the management of the national economy. Here, the average man felt himself master of everything. Waldo Frank, an American historian, novelist, and
my question is this: why is it so much cut out? Like, you guys get that? Why is there so much cut out? Here, let's see something.
Could be solved by
let's see something. Waldo Frank, that's what it was. Because I'm a little bit skeptical when I see so much cut out. Let's see if we can actually do this. I don't know. John Stuart Mills. Let's see if we can actually find it. Is it here? Yeah, see, no, where's he getting this quote from? Let's go.
Conquering the common difficulties. In America, the worker has no real voice in the management of the national economy. Here, the average man felt himself master of everything. Waldo Frank, an American historian, novelist, and literary critic, said of Soviet factories, "Here are happy workers, because they are whole men and women. Dream, thought, love, collaborate in the tedious business."
These aren't like, where are these getting these quotes from? All right, let's go.
Of making electronic parts, since these toilers are not working for a boss, not even for a living. When I hear Richard Wolff say stuff like this,
for them, what socialism means is the transformation of the everyday life of working people. No longer do you go to work with other people telling you what to do, where to sit, what machine to use, what raw material to work on. And at the end of the day, you go home and you've got nothing more to say about what you poured your brains and muscles into. No, no, no. For these socialists, like me, the crucial thing is to reorganize the workplace, to bring real democracy, can you believe it, to the place where we work. In a country that claims to be democratic, we don't have democracy in the workplace. We have a tiny group of people telling the majority what to do, fully unaccountable to that majority.
I feel like you'd be right at home with these two. The book...
Okay, oh my god, okay. Yes, is Richard Wolff guilty of some sensationalization? Yes, of course, he's a Marxist economic communicator. Of course, that's his job. And I know this is going to like really bother a lot of people on the left. If you're in a worker co-op, it's not saying that, oh, I get to do whatever the fuck I want to. That's not how this works. You're still thinking under this mindset of like, oh, if I get to be the boss, I can tell people that. Like, no, that doesn't work that way. God damn it. I'm my own boss of my own art company, Lone Sage Art. I do my streams and I do respond to like when people send me videos. But I still have to, even with my art, if I'm working on a commission, I have to work within those guidelines. You don't just get up every day and say, I think I'm going to take this. I'm going to do this because we're in a worker co-op. No, you have more choice over your share of work. You have more freedom of like making sure that your rights are protected. But it's not just like I get to do whatever I want to. Though that's stupid. Like that's anarchy. And even in the anarchist system, that's not the same thing. You are literally saying like, oh yeah, I want to make motherfucking sprockets today. You need to make cogs. No, I want to make sprockets. That's not how this works. That's
not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
But let's go.
Goes on like this for each regime. If you're interested in war, I highly suggest you read it for yourself. And I'm sure that I'll be talking about it more in the future. Needless to say, there were prominent leftists who criticized these regimes. George Orwell most famous among them. But effusive praise was not some marginal position on the left. I'll close by saying one thing in favor of this new...
So there were prominent socialists. The one person I've been saying is a prominent socialist. Hello, Animal Farm. All right, let's go.
New brand of online socialists. At least they're slightly more honest than a lot of other online leftists. I'm specifically thinking of the morons who think that Bernie Sanders just wants America to be like Denmark. Sometimes, even these democratic socialists even show their hand when it comes to their thoughts on using violence to implement their ideology.
Chinese land reform movement was a campaign by the Communist Party leader Mao Zedong during the late phase of the Chinese Civil War in the early People's Republic of China. The campaign involved mass murder of landlords by tenants and land redistribution by the peasantry.
Interesting.
Yeah, the estimated amount of casualties of the movement ranges from hundreds of thousands to millions. In terms of the Communist Party's valuation, Zhao Enlai estimated 830,000 been killed by Mao Zedong. Estimated as many 3 million were killed.
Interesting.
Class aside, huh? Okay. Mass killings. Oh.
Doodly-doo. Isn't history interesting?
Mass killings of landlords. Initial campaign. Height of the landlord purge. Shortly after the founding. Lurch finally left Mao Zedong laying down new guidelines for not correcting excessive... Oh, this is weird stuff.
Oh, okay. You have three people on the internet that doesn't realize that killing is bad. I mean, like... I don't know. I think I can pull the same rabbit out of my motherfucking hat. But, okay. That's the thing, like, it's... I get that you want, because this is not to convince a socialist. This is not convince a leftist. This is to give red meat to his own motherfucking audience. And I get that. I fucking totally get that. Not everybody is like me, where I just think like, yeah, let me just watch some shit that I totally disagree with, and then make commentary about it. But what is this supposed to prove? That there are some people that don't know much about history? Hello, welcome to the U.S. motherfucking educational system. You still hasn't told us the truth about social democracy or democratic socialism. Where is that point at? All right, let's go.
Retaliation by landlords. Well, I guess you can do what you want, but more of us than you.
These people are just ahead of the curve. Should they get any real power, we will likely see a rerun of the 20th century socialist regimes. Hopefully, we don't have to relearn those dark lessons.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I watched the video and I'm super confused. Like, I still don't get the whole this is the truth about democratic socialism. Maybe I'm just missing something. Again, what about socialism has actually been what about the concept of more worker control, more worker rights has been debunked, other than just saying like, yeah, some places that call themselves socialists, even though people who were socialists took credit for it, actually found that they weren't really socialists, and so they dropped them like a motherfucking bad habit. Like, what? I don't understand. And I've been really trying not to get to the whataboutism, but I just don't understand. What was the point of that video? Like, really, what was the point of it? And maybe I'm just like not altogether there, especially since I'm tired and I'm looking at this bright light and yeah. But I didn't see this is why socialism bad. I heard this is why Mao was bad. I heard why this is why Stalin is bad. But define socialism And tell me why it's bad to have more people come into a consensus about things other than just one motherfucking king. And I can give you a reason. The reason is one person just can make a decision and everybody got to listen to him. That's a good reason for the person in charge. But for everybody else, that doesn't mean shit. And again, maybe it's just that I don't know, like, I get that a lot of people, and I was watching this video earlier today, a lot of people in America feel like they're just temporarily inconvenienced millionaires. No. Anyway, I just like, share, and subscribe, watch the video, and and this is what happens when you challenge me to watch a video that's not like 3 hours long and I can watch it on stream. All right, so yeah, we've done we've done an hour, and yeah, wow. Don't say people I don't watch video. I don't watch a video. I've proved that I watch a video. By the way, tell me how the new camera looks. Is it actually better than let's see if I can actually put it out without ruining the magic. Which actual camera looks better? I don't know. I don't know which one looks better. I like the light feature, but yeah. Anyway, I want to say thank everybody who's watched today, and yeah. Remember, touch titties, always with consent, and take us away, Richard.
What do you think that these executives are afraid you're going to do to white America?
Probably stop some racism.
Stop racism?
Yeah, they're probably afraid of that, because then people don't hate each other, and people start talking to each other, and then they start talking to each other, they find out who's the problem.
Which is?
Greedy people.
Greedy. I have a couple things I want to ask you there. Do you really think that some of the guys that you dealt with at NBC, no names, right? Because there's lawsuits for that too, that some of these guys really want to promote racism actively, or is it a subconscious?
I just think it's part of capitalism, is to promote racism, right? In order to make things work. If you feel better because you're white and you can get a job, you use that. I mean, I would.
Absolutely.
Say, I'm sorry, Jack, but shit, they say I'm white. I'm going to use this.
Right. Absolutely.
Get this job. I'm hungry, But, and that separates people. So they keep people separated, and that keeps them from thinking about the real problem. That's as simple as I see it. Probably it's not that simple, but...
Now, all right, you and I are about the same age, right? We're in our mid-30s. How long is it going to take before guys who think like you, and I say guys who think like me, people who don't want to have racism in the country, people who don't want to be oppressing any minority, whatever it is, sexual, whatever minority, really get into positions of power and can change things?
You can't get in a position of power, it seems, if you think like that. It seems that the only time you get in a position of power is if you're like the people that are in power. To me, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, people that get to become executives become like the people that were already executives.
I don't know, maybe...
They go in with good intentions, but it eats them up. It's like a cesspool, it just gets on you and it starts
the system
eating.
levels them.
Pretty soon it's all gone.
Is that what a cesspool sounds like?
Yes.